Robots, automation, chatbots, large language models, agents. It's an overwhelming list, isn't it? My friends ask me all the time, where do I go and learn about all of this? So I thought that I could help them and you to navigate the topic and all of these changes. But first, who am I to talk about all of this? My name is Said. I am the head of AI at a marketing agency, and I spend most of my time implementing AI and automation solutions and reading about it. Implementing AI and automations about what I do is that most of the time I hear people talking about AI as this really large black box that is absolutely everything. Agents AI, is that program AI? Is ChatGPT AI? Is there an AI for that? And the list goes on, right? It's difficult to navigate all of this, I get it. And it's even more difficult to choose what's going to move the needle in your business. So let me break some of these down for you. The main question I get asked is, what are AI agents? And before I can answer what that is, I need to explain what powers agents are, which are large language models. For the non-techies, an LLM is a model that uses an algorithm, more specifically something called self-attention, to keep track of the context of a conversation. It's not sentient, it's not alive, and it's not intelligent, at least in the way that humans are. The self-attention algorithm allows the system to make predictions for words that should follow a sentence, right? I am sure that you have used something like ChatGPT, but if not, that's what it's known as an LLM-powered chatbot. Chatbots are not new. They have been used for a long time in different applications with more or less success. And as the name says, it's a bot that you can chat to. So you can ask a question, then you'll get an answer, and you can keep the conversation going for as long as you want. Or well, mostly till you hit something known as the context window. But I don't want to get too technical into this, okay? The main difference is that LLMs have increased by 10x the quality of chatbots. Agents are classified by Satya Nadella as orchestrators that will be able to do tasks in multiple systems and workflows for us. You can think of them as minions that can go and perform simple tasks for you. Why do I say simple? Well, large corporations will try to sell you into this idea that end-to-end agents fully automate your work and life, and I have not seen yet a single application doing all of that. So we need to be careful with the marketing hype, and I work in marketing, right? Having said that, there are pretty impressive applications out there that are really innovative. And an example of this is AlphaEvolve by Google, in which they were able to improve a mathematical algorithm, which is matrix multiplications, something that no human did to this date. So they are innovative, of course, and very impressive. An agent, for example, will be capable of categorizing your inbox much more efficiently than traditional software would. There are so many different possibilities for the meaning of an email that you cannot write rules for all of them, like you would in traditional software development. So instead, a large language model can understand the context of an email without having to code any rules into it. Is that then automation? Yes and no. And I think we need to isolate the definitions. Automation has been around for more than 3 decades. Agents started probably 2 to 3 years ago. Automation is, simply put, using technology to improve a manual workflow. The closer that you get it to fully independent, the better. Real life examples of automation are cooking robots, right? You dump your ingredients in, you press a few buttons, you walk away, and then you come back and you have a meal ready. In software, it could be something like testing your web page. If you make a change to it, you run your test script, and if all of the tests pass, then it means that you're good to go and you can release it as none of the changes broke it. Automation is logic or instructions packed in a way that a human don't need to execute them. Think of it of workflows where every step is defined. Now, can you combine agents and automation? Of course you can. And this is where you get the biggest wins. Now, let's get back to the email categorization. A process might look like this. If we work in customer service, an email comes, and then we need to decide what to do with it. The context of the email dictates what comes next. Should I send it to a colleague? Do I need to perform a task? Can I just reply to it with what I know? Typical stuff. Now, an automated agent can pick this up and handle much more volume than a human ever could. The automation part is the process itself. So you code how to parse the email, how you get the text, then you feed it into the agent, then the agent decides with the context that it has what needs to happen next. So the agentic piece is the email comprehension, email parsing is the automation, the action after is automation triggered by the agent. Now, agents have something called tools. Tools help agents complete tasks and make them much more powerful. For example, an agent might have a tool that allows it to see data inside a database, or it might allow the agent to search the internet. If we look at a full example, imagine that we work in customer service for a travel agency and an email comes. Hi there, I'm looking for a holiday in Spain in July. Can you tell me what there is available? Now, the customer needs to wait for us to have the time to read that email, and chances are that looking at it, we go back to the customer and say, sure, no problem. Is that just for yourself, or do you plan to travel with more people? Do you have any specific dates in mind? What's your budget? Are you looking for something close to the beach, or do you prefer to be in town? Whatever. Now, we need to wait for them to come back to us. And once that happens, we need to do the doing, and we end up with maybe your option for a family of 4 next to the beach are as follows. But listen, in this whole process, if we want to aim for world-class customer service, we should aim to respond under 5 minutes. And I don't say this, it's Harvard Business School, link in the description to the article. Now, imagine this process is run with an agent. So, as soon as the email comes, the workflow passes the email and it generates an action straight up. Our customer representative doesn't need to pay attention to the inbox. They can focus on higher value tasks, whatever it is that they do in travel agencies that is higher value than just paying attention to an email. And as soon as the agent understands what the email requires, it fires the response or action. And this takes milliseconds, okay? It always puts the ball back on the customer's court straight away. Now, this is easier said than done. Having an agent that effectively completes tasks consistently, that has the right tone of voice, and that it works 24/7 requires quite a bit of work, but it is possible. So, how do you get started? My advice is that you check platforms like N8N or Make.com, which are local platforms for agent deployment. N8N is quite powerful actually if you know what you're doing, but it relies a lot on external APIs. Now, I personally think that you should focus on the problems first. What is it that you want to achieve? Do you want world-class customer support? Then, if that is the case, where is your team spending the most amount of time? What are the most frequently asked questions that they get? What features will make the user experience even better? Whatever it is, can you break it down into something that you can then use AI to fix or improve with? AI is a tool, and as such, it should only be used when it's the right thing to do. It can do a lot of things, but we need to be careful as well, okay? And one of the things that I talk about is ethical AI. When most companies use LLMs, they use most likely OpenAI. But whatever you use is the same thing. When we use a third-party provider, our data stops being ours alone. Once you pass the data through the API, it gets stored by the third party, which means that they can decide to do whatever they want with it, or they can train models with it. So it's not secret anymore. Even if OpenAI is telling you that they won't use your data to train models, as long as you pay for the service, of course, they have been trying really hard to bypass the copyright laws because they are seeing their competitive advantage dilute. My recommendation would be that if you want to really take AI and agents seriously, you should protect your data along the way, meaning that you should use open source models. Open source models are public models that allow you to host them in your own infrastructure, and where you can determine if you need to fine-tune them or use them as they come or do whatever you want with them, right? Now, this is significantly more complicated than just plugging in an API. So start with private models, and as soon as you can, move into an open source one. I personally use third-party models when I don't care about the data. For example, I have another video where I talk about how I use AI to read faster. You can go and watch that. I recommend you to do that. Learning is what I like to do most after reading AI. So hopefully all of this was useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.